Sassuolo was mentioned for the first time in 1980. Sassuolo managed to obtain independence from Modena, becoming a free municipality, but the celebration of Sassuolo's citizen ended when Sassuolo became extensive territory. Under the rule of the Est family, the citizens of Sassuolo lost their independence from Modena, and, on top of that, they were forced to pay new taxes. In 1500, Eleonora Bentivoglio brought a little happiness and fun to Sassuolo. She organized duty-free fairs in Sassuolo, the so-called October fairs, which still take place today. In 1505, Alessandro Pio, tired of always seeing the same monotonous city, decided to expand the new town on an urban level, and he had Piazza Garibaldi and the clock tower built. The last lord of Sassuolo was Marco III Pio of Savoy. He used to oppose the Est family and, mysteriously, on November 10 in Modena, he suffered a serious attack and died without a male heir. Sassuolo then passed again under the control of the Est family. With the return of the Est family, new privileges were guaranteed to the citizen, such as the possibility of emigration. Sassuolo was then chosen as a holiday resort. Duke Francesco I d'Este wanted to improve the splendor of Sassuolo by transforming the Pio Castle into a real palace, ducal palace.
In 1796, Sassuolo was occupied by Napoleon's troops.
The shortest dude with a lisp that conquered the world.
In 1814, once Napoleon was defeated, Modena's dukedom with Sassuolo was held by the Estense family for the last time. The new duke tried to restore the political balance from before Napoleon's arrival, but the Sassolesi, this is how people who live in Sassuolo are called, were like,
"You know, now we want united Italy."
Therefore, Sassuolo became an independent town. After Italy's union in 1861, Sassuolo went through a period of great urban and demographic development. Rails, schools and post offices were built, electric current and phone line were made available for all the citizens.
In 1923, the fascist government started, and it was going to last until 1943, at the end of the Second World War. In this period, it is said that Jews used to hide in hidden passages built by the Estensi in case of war, under the Ducal Park. Sassolesi indeed started to hide Jews, mostly children, between them, putting them their own clothes and giving them a house, until the liberation of Sassuolo, thanks to the partisans.
The ones that wrote Bella Ciao, the soundtrack of La Casa de Papel.
Are you curious to find out what is in the city of Sassuolo? If yes, we have some places to recommend you. For those who don't know, Sassuolo is known for its ceramics, and for this we thought to propose the visit of two major museums. The Museum of Bertozza and Casoni, that offers the opportunity to enjoy the works of ceramics, and the Marca Corona Gallery, which is the success of Sassolese ceramics.
Obviously, Sassuolo is also characterized by other attractions which are not only about ceramics, not only about poetry, but also from monuments such as the Church of San Giorgio, that at first impact may seem simple, but visiting it you will notice that it's full of statues, paintings and large windows.
If you are willing to move from the city of Sassuolo, you can also consider the Sanctuary of Fiorano, a beautiful church on a hill when there was the Castle of Fiorano. Here the view is very beautiful and its garden is very well kept. And there is also a statue of John Paul II.
Sassuolo isn't a very big city, but we all know that good things come in small packages. Indeed, it is estimated by many and has many places to visit. For example, Monte Gibbio Castle. It stands on a hilly relief about 5 km from the city. The first fortifications date back to the beginning of the 10th century. They were built by the canons of Parma to defend themselves from the Bulgarian invasions.
Inside, the most charming municipal furnishings are preserved. There are various styles, but the predominant one is the Ambertine one. Inside, there are also a church dedicated to St. Peter and an acetaia, where the traditional balsamic vinegar of Modena is produced. The castle now hosts various events, such as court evenings, which take place between June and early August, and during which it is possible to dine in the castle park, accompanied by good music and lots of fun for all ages.
The Ducal Palace of Sassuolo is one of the most important Baroque residences in northern Italy. Its present appearance took shape in 1634 at the behest of an extra-urban residence of Duke Francesco I d'Este.
After many years of military administration and complex restoration work, in 2004 the palace was finally handed over to the Ministry of Cultural Heritage, Activities and Tourism. You can visit it even without reservation. For young people, visiting ancient buildings may seem boring. We know you would prefer clubs, but it is an interesting opportunity to do something different and discover new things.
Even if Sassuolo is comparable to an anthill, there are many things to do in your free time that help you pass the time. If you want to take a walk or stay in contact with nature, the two main parks are the Vistarino and the Ducale. But be careful to walk near the Secchia River route, because 90% of the time you will meet with improvised forest camps that risk to run you over. The shops are many to be such a small city. The most known are Quattro Stagioni and Undici, not to mention the usual chain stores known everywhere as Subway, Roach and OVS. It's obvious that you will not be able to go shopping compulsively as the protagonist of The Devil Wears Prada in the streets of New York, but we are satisfied anyway.
The nightlife in Sassuolo is full of possibilities. Obviously, it is not like that of Las Vegas, but pubs and discos certainly are not lacking. Teenagers usually meet in bars to start the evening. Most frequented and known are the Gin Bar behind the Ducal Park, Bolla in Piazza Piccola, the Salotto Regina, which is situated in the main street like Fifth Avenue or the Rambla, and finally, the favorite place of young people during the winter is Gord's Pub.
In addition to bars, we also recommend some clubs, one for minors and the other only for adults. Camarta is the most frequented disco by all ages groups, because it allows access from the age of 14. Iago instead is a place only for adults, so we, who are a group of poor desperate people, get kicked out every time, but it's always crowded.
It is said that in 1200 a young beautiful marquise in a carriage pulled by 4 horses arrived in an inn to rest. The innkeeper accompanied the lady to the room, and attracted by her beauty decided to try to conquer her through a delicious meal of only Sassuolo specialties, complete with first course, second course and dessert. The first course was a hot plate of tortellini, followed by a nice plate of lentils and cotechino, and to finish some delicious amaretti.
What the innkeeper did not know, however, was that the Marquise had always had some problems tasting new things. So, not wanting to give up and wanting to conquer her at all costs, he decided to tell her stories about these local specialities to convince her. He told her that one evening a beautiful damsel came to an inn to stay overnight after a long journey. The owner of the inn, captivated by such beauty, peeked through the keyhole of the young woman's room and glimpsed her navel caught by inspiration, and created the tortellino.
He then went on to tell her that the tradition of lentils originated in ancient Rome, when they used to give them with the hope that they would turn into sound coins. To convince her to taste the cotechino, he then told her that the latter was created in the early 16th century by the citizens to better preserve the meat. To finish with the dessert, he told her that in honor of the visit of the Cardinal of Milan, a young couple prepared a dough that gave rise to round biscuits that were called amaretti. The Marquise was so impressed by these stories that she tasted everything that the innkeeper had prepared for her. She liked everything so much that all she wanted to know was the typical foods of the area. So the innkeeper illustrated the dishes, products, sweets, liquors, the wines you must try in the city.
Among the simplest food, lo gnocco fritto, which is fried gnocco, even if for Sassuolese doc it's called il gnocco and the article lo doesn't even have to be taken into consideration unless you want to start a fight, obviously, is one of the most popular. Also the tigella, better known by true connoisseurs as crescentina. Also, in this case, a national debate could arise, so be careful. Finally, the innkeeper told to the beautiful marquise, "Surely the percentage of starvation in Sassuolo is lower than the cooking temperature of tortellini, but in case it will afflict someone, we could resort to the famous healing properties of our balsamic vinegar, which also goes perfectly with our Parmigiano Reggiano, just to let you know."